Hello friends and neighbors, how's everybody doing? It's Sunday. I hope everybody's doing okay. We're doing great here. I got both kids home for supper tonight. How wonderful is that? And Viv's over there having a little lay down in the sun. Let me see if I can switch this around here. There she is. Miss V, totally up there. She said hello. There you go. Hello, it's me again. Just thought you more like a little picture of Viv, that's all. She's my baby. Okay. This is a long one. So let's get into it, shall we? We're going to talk a little bit about Venezuelan President Maduro and the Mango Moose Knuckle. They're a little similar. You'll find out. So the presidential election was held the 28th of July, 2024. Before the count was complete, Maduro had said he'd won the election and was holding up a folder like with the final results and all. And he gave the old, the Trump thing. That's why Trump does it, because dictators like him do it. As a sign that victory, and he walked off. Now, on November 3rd, 2020, the Trump-Biden election was held. At 2 a.m. on the 4th, Trump gathered everyone in the briefing room as they were watching results coming in and declared, frankly, we did win this election. So if you're new to this channel, give us a subscribe, please. I know I get hundreds and hundreds of people, like in the thousands, 2,000-3,000 people watching my videos, but I don't see anybody, most people aren't subscribing, so that would be nice. Trying almost at 20,000. I would love to get to 25,000 by the election. Think that's possible? We'll see. But anyway, let's get into this, shall we? The Venezuelan Authority was asked to show proof that Maduro won. They didn't, because they don't have it, because it doesn't exist. The U.S. State Department calls for Venezuela National Election Council to release the vote count. It has every other election except this. Now, on the 29th of July, thousands of protesters took to the streets because they said Maduro was attempting to steal the election and stay in power for a third term. Can't do that. You can only have 2 terms. Their National Electoral Council, which is loyal to Maduro, said, oh no, he won by 51% of the vote. Now, the State Electoral College is kind of weird. I just don't like it. Like, how about just get rid of it? And then everyone's votes count. Because this way, you're only getting like 55 votes in California, 30 votes in Florida, 40 votes in Texas. Like, there's a lot more people than 40 people voting in Texas. So this electoral stuff is bullshit as far as I'm concerned. So, it needs to go. The Venezuelan elections are stop the steal in reverse. The Democratic wing of the party, of the people, said their candidate won by over 70%, and they have the receipts from the electoral districts and the polling offices. They have the receipts that said he won over 70% of the vote because they wanted change. They're sick to death of the authoritarian rule, and they're sick to death of getting price gouged, sick to death of taxes being imposed on common people, that are way too high, while the rich do whatever they like and pay barely any taxes at all. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Yeah. In America, Trump's tax agenda did the exact same thing. And he points the finger at Joe and Kamala because food's too expensive, yet he panders to all the big food conglomerates and the CEOs and stuff vying to lower their taxes even more if he gets in, to give them more tax breaks, and you get to pay whatever they gouge your pockets for. Because the rich can afford whatever they pay, so they don't care. They just want them on their side so they can pay for their elections and whatnot, right? So it's all about the rich get richer and the poor get screwed. Maduro is, he ran for a 3rd term, while Edmundo Gonzalez was a former diplomat from the Unitary Party, which is their Democrat Party, was the main opposition leader to Maduro. the other leading candidates of the opposition were disqualified by the Maduro government. Tell me that's not a little fascistic. In June 2023, Maria Corina Machado was barred from competing because she would have kicked his ass, and he knew that. She had the numbers, and he didn't. So she right now, after this thing with Gonzalez, is in hiding. As I am telling you this, she's in hiding because Maduro and his goons are out looking for her. So in the States, they use a more subtle tactic. And if you aren't MAGA militant enough, you get death threats. Your election headquarters gets burned. A couple times that's happened. Your kids are watched by MAGA sycophants, and their pictures are sent to the parents as if with a little message, something to the effect that if I can get this close to take pictures of your kids, what else will we be able to do? Yeah, this is a huge fear campaign that's going on right now in the United States of America. What do you think all the real Republicans are leaving government for? Because they're being doxxed. We got all these crazy people showing up to their house armed. We got them following them around wherever they go. They're harassing their wives, their family members. That's militant. That is not a campaign, and that's not democracy. That's a bunch of militant sycophants that are bowing down and sucking on Trump's arse. That's what that is. They can elect more militant members of Congress to the Senate because these guys are leaving. Guys like Buck, they left. So they can get more militants in there. But that's why Democrats have to work twice as hard to keep democracy. It's a good thing if you can keep it, right? In Venezuela, after the government announced the falsified results, the protests started, and the Maduro administration detained oppositional political figures. Detained them, like in jail. Refused to relinquish power and criminalized the protests. So Maduro has also packed the court. And they're all on his side. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? 6-3 for the Supreme Court in the States. And he wants 9 out of 9 on his side. That's right. So after the 2020 election, the Mango Moose Knuckle refused to believe he lost. Well, he didn't refuse to believe. He knew what would happen with those crazy people that follow him around all over the place. He knew what would happen if he started spreading that lie that the election was stolen and it was full of fraud. So he went to all the swing state attorneys general and started working on them. And after he was done, he sent the likes of Lindsey Graham and other parts of his administration to hound these guys to get them to change the election results. He told, remember in Georgia, told Raffensperger, come on, it's okay to just say you miscounted. Leave the rest to me and my Republicans. We'll take it from there. Just say you miscounted the votes. Like, come on, fellas, I just need 11,780 votes. That's just one more than we need. Because you know we won the state. Raffensperger said, no, you didn't. We've done 3 recounts, and you did not win the state. But Raffensperger and his wife received tons of death threats, and they were doxxed, and people showed up at their homes and all kinds of stuff. But Raffensperger stood his ground. But now he's going back to this gerrymandering bullshit that they're trying to do and keep black voters at bay. Now that Maduro thinks he's the victor, he has arrested over 1,200 people as of August 1st, just like that. He said at the speech, one of the guys, just like there was, I don't know, it was a congressman that was speaking at Turning Point USA, but he said, thank God that we have bikers for Trump here to protect us and willing to go to war for us. Remember that? Well, he got that from somewhere because Maduro just happens to have bikers for Maduro type thing who were targeting low-income areas that were previously a stronghold for Maduro that are sick to death of being treated like shit. They've seen the light and want better, so Maduro is sicking these guys onto them. That's right. Maduro personally encouraged people to report protesters they know. An app was created to report medical emergencies, but they added another page that's being used as a rat line. We're opening a new page, he said, in the app for all Venezuelan people so they can confidentially give me all the information about delinquents who have threatened the people, attacked the people, so we can go after them and bring them to prompt justice. There was a huge harassment potential to that, so another page was added so Maduro voters could post pictures of rioters, like people are currently being sought for arrest. There's over 1,000 people that they're looking for right now. And these people are protesting against the authoritarian regime and want democracy. So it's in reverse of Stop the Steal. In the U.S., the militants attacked the Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power and implement a coup. There were 64 lawsuits around the United States, and they were all lost because there was no fraud large enough to affect the election. And they had, each one of the swing states had real recounts and everything else. I don't know how many they did in Arizona. They had the ninjas there and everything else. And poor Kerry still lost. And Biden ended up getting something like 28 extra votes after the friggin' ninjas that they paid millions of dollars to find all this stuff. So all their election court cases that they took found absolutely nothing. And these were by Trump judges. About 65% of them were Trump-appointed judges that said you have no standing and you have no merit. And merit is the big thing, and they had none. Do you have any evidence? Well, no, we don't have evidence, but we have people telling us. Well, you can't go to court with people telling us because it was all bullshit. And it's led by that poor sick man, Mike Lindell. Over $40 million he spent on this, and Trump is just sitting back laughing his royal fucking orange ass off there, thinking that he's got to be the biggest idiot this side of Texas, which he apparently is now because he spent over $40 million on trying to prove Trump won the election, and nothing has done it. But anyway, there are 64 lawsuits in the U.S., all lost because there was no fraud large enough to say that there was any fraud, because there wasn't. There was recounts, independent vote counts. I mean, the president told that big lie thousands and thousands of times, and he's bringing it all up again because he's going to pull the same thing. Thought January 6th was bad? Whoo, Nelly. He has said that he would jail all media that told people the election was not stolen. He wants to jail people that have said anything negative about him because the media is the enemy of the people. Remember that? That's coming up again. He will shut down universities just like Orban did. They had a fine arts university, a huge one, and just because George Soros built it, paid for it, and funded the education for the students there, and gave them bursaries and stuff, Orban shut it down. Because they had women's studies and things like that. Shut that stuff down. And that's what Trump's going to do. He wants to get rid of Harvard, Yale, anything like that. Doesn't want them making money, and he wants to shut down the Department of Education. So the MAGAs that aren't getting the education they need now and figure a high school diploma is all they need are going to stay stupid. And Trump's counting on that. He's counting on his poorly educated. What is going on in Venezuela right now will commence November 6th, the day after the election, if people aren't careful. But I believe people are gearing up to make sure that this is not going to happen. There are safeguards being put in place right now. If this isn't nipped in the bud, though, this is a huge warning that the MAGAs will take to the streets when Kamala wins for democracy. And she will win. She will win because there are more people that want democracy, that want the Mango Moose Knuckle in there, wreaking havoc and taking away people's rights. As a side note, Maduro, like Trump, is fighting to get into power because he's facing jail time. Maduro is facing drug trafficking and corruption charges in the United States and is under investigation for crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Court. And if he's forced out, he goes to prison. And Trump ran for office this time as soon as he heard the indictments might be coming out soon. So he got his first indictment, He said he's running for office because he figures nobody would indict him any further because he was the ex-president. Then 3 more came down the pike, and he was found liable for rape. He was found guilty of election and campaign fraud 34 times. 34 counts he was found guilty on. 34 out of 34. He was guilty of civil fraud to the tune of $500 million for ripping off banks for interest payments and stuff like that by swaying their judgment on how they were going to insure his properties. Judge Chutkin, on an upside, just regained the case for his 4 counts of election subversion and spreading the big lie, thinking that he's not, that he won the election and Joe Biden didn't. So this is going to get tense. The next few months are going to be tough, and you just have to buck up, go with it, and fight against it. Because if you lose your democracy, you've lost. You've lost. So anyway, I know this is a long one, but if you're still at this end of the, whew, got a little wee buggy there. If you're still at the end of this, and this video, I thank you so much for your patience, your support. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers. I love you all so much. Please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. Look after yourself because this is going to be a tough fight. I love you so much. Mwah. Take care of you.